Debating how much snow fell, if it was plowed fast enough, good enough. It happens as often as it seems to snow in Alaska, like all the time somewhere in the state. Alaska's news source tested roads across Anchorage, asking drivers if the city and the state are doing a good job, also comparing each street. Rebecca Palsha takes us on a little ride around town.
Straighten out, straighten out. Okay. Crisis averted here on C Street. That's a road the state clears. Is there one street that's more of a problem?
Looky here. Yeah, Midtown for sure.
Let's keep driving. Put these roads to the test. Who does a better job plowing? The city or the state? Yikes! I see you, Seward Highway. This one, the state clears. Any roads that stand out to you as good or bad?
Nothing in particular, no.
Some are bumpy, others clear, some roads are icy, and some are smooth as silk. The old Seward Highway is consistent. No ruts, just snow. Here's one the state clears. Fifth Avenue to downtown, clear. Another win for the city.
So in the Anchorage area, the state is responsible for the Seward Highway, the Glen Highway, Minnesota. Those are our priority one roadways.
The state says it clears about 1,700 miles of roads in Anchorage.
Well, I think they could be better, but I think they're probably doing a good job.
The state clears less than the city, but works on some of the highest spots for speed and the main thoroughfares.
If there are problem areas, always contact us.
The city says it focuses on main roads as well and should take 12 hours to clear once that snow stops falling.
Things are going well. We had a really big snowstorm.
The plowers, they don't worry about the neighborhoods as much as the main roads.
Those are for the city to clear. Do you think everyone's doing a good job?
I think so. With the snow we've had this year, I think we've done a pretty good job of staying on top of it. Obviously, we've got some problem areas. You noted those intersections with the rutting and whatnot.
Then the next snowstorm will come through. Rebecca Palsha, Alaska's news source.
All right, as we continue trying to get past the previous snowfall and Juneau clears out, even lifting evacuation advisories, there's Melissa Fry, chief meteorologist. Melissa, another weather development taking place over the next few days?
Yeah, we have another storm system on the way. This one's going to impact different areas than what we've seen over the past week. It's also going to bring in very warm and very windy in addition to wet conditions. So first alert weather days really starting tomorrow, continuing into Friday. That is when we're going to see this warm and wet Pacific storm moving from south to north across the state. So those impacts, they are widespread from south central to southwest and into the interior this time. So I need all of you to start preparing for wind, snow, and freezing rain. Again, those are expected in most of these areas. You can see the weather alerts, widespread blizzard warnings in effect for the higher elevations, high wind warning in effect for the Anchorage hillside, gusts to 85 miles per hour about 24 hours from now. And then also seeing that heavy snow in the southwest corner of the state and even freezing rain across south central. This storm first pushes into the southwest corner of the state and the Kenai Peninsula tomorrow morning. Light snow at the beginning of this, as it still will be cold enough for snow, but a lot of warm air is going to pump in. And so gradually through the day Thursday, we are going to see a transition from snow to rain and freezing rain in the second half of the day. That is true for Anchorage. It is true for the Sterling Highway through the western Kenai Peninsula, even into the Matsu. And once we get into Friday, we'll start to see that moisture extending north into the interior, and yes, even late Friday into Saturday, we'll see chances for some freezing rain pushing into the interior as well. Once we get to Saturday afternoon, we are pretty much in the clear at that point. But a closer look at those individual impacts and the timeline of this storm. Again, the snow starts early Thursday, heaviest on the Kenai Peninsula in the southwest corner of the state. At that point, wind and temperatures will slowly start to ramp up. By Thursday evening, that snow starts to turn to freezing rain. We see those extreme winds beginning to climb on the Anchorage hillside, and then we see that rain and freezing rain likely on Friday. All the while, those high winds continue. So some pretty serious impacts. I'll try and break it down further for each region here in a few minutes.
All right, so much to discuss statewide. We'll check in with Melissa in a little bit. Anchorage police say that the driver of a truck taken to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Look at this viewer video. It was a collision, a school bus and a truck this morning. The crash caused the truck to catch fire along East Northern Lights Boulevard. Police say that the truck driver, along with 31 students and an ASD employee on the bus, made it out of the vehicle safely. Northern Lights was closed in both directions between Betty Davis East High School and Wesleyan Drive as the fire was put out. And Anchorage police are trying to get more information after a man was found dead in downtown Anchorage last night. Police say someone found the man unresponsive at 4th Avenue and F Street, right there near the Visit Anchorage log cabin. Around 5:30, police say the individual that found the person performed life-saving measures until APD officers and medics from the Anchorage Fire Department responded. APD did not report anything suspicious at the scene, but they are working to complete a full investigation.
We start with a death investigation that may turn into a homicide investigation, or it may just turn into a natural death or an overdose or some other type of finding once we finish the investigation, but we always start as a death investigation. That's where it's at right now.
Next of kin notification procedures still need to be completed, we're told. The body of another man was found in the 700 block of East Benson Boulevard last night as well, just before 6 o'clock. Anchorage police say the man was found unresponsive and outside. They tried to revive him, but he was declared deceased. No other names or details have been released yet as the next of kin process continues. In Fairbanks tonight, former Anchorage Mayor Dave Bronson is announcing his running mate for lieutenant governor. The announcement will be taking place at Jean's Chrysler on Cushman Street. We do have a crew there. We have more to come tonight on the late edition. So as that's happening, here's a look at gubernatorial candidates that Bronson will be up against, a list that includes former and current state officials. When it comes to other lieutenant governor picks, Mike Shower has been selected by Bernadette Wilson. You can catch up on all things gubernatorial race at alaskasnewssource.com. And today, foreign leaders from Denmark and Greenland met with senators on Capitol Hill to discuss the White House's effort to acquire Greenland. After talking to Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the foreign ministers met with bipartisan senators, including Lisa Murkowski. Senator Murkowski was the only Republican in that group. Earlier this week, she filed legislation to stop the use of funding to go after NATO countries like Denmark.
I hope it's ultimately not necessary to use the word, the name Greenland in the context of a war powers resolution. To me, is absolutely stunning.
Well, the White House argues the U.S. owning Greenland would help defend against threats from Russia and China. Some senators argue protections are possible without country ownership or takeover. There are many political storylines developing across the state. Our very own Will Courtney is on top of it all as we head to the Alaska legislative session beginning next week. If you'd like to learn more, listen to Alaska's Political Pipeline, available now on our website, our mobile app, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. All right, so going back 30 years, a rivalry between the Air Force and the Army. It's been taking place out on the frozen pond, talking about a game of hockey. The Commander's Cup, more than just a battle of branches. It's an event that brings service members together in the interior. Adrian Peterson has more on the game's legacy in this week's edition of what's now known as the Northern Front.
I heard about it before I came up to Alaska.
The last Commander's Cup, it was probably my first interaction with what the base does here.
Within my first week of arriving on station, I was playing with the team.
The Commander's Cup is an annual hockey tradition in Fairbanks that has grown over 3 decades as the military community gathers to cheer on their own troops. The game brings troops together in sport while building bonds between branches.
Because you got players from Greeley, you got players from Wainwright, and then obviously the other team from Eielson. And it really just ties in a lot of the communities in the interior together.
The legacy of the game spans generations, with current players growing up as fans watching their own fathers play.
We'd go to the games, and it was amazing how this community in Fairbanks really takes hold of hockey. And because there's such a large military presence here and veteran presence, that the fans come out year after year.
For those that participate on and off the ice, the game can even make their time in Fairbanks worth the while.
It's one of the reasons why I've still been in Alaska for so long. Without it, probably would have left 7 years ago.
The 30 years of rivalry and camaraderie have come with challenges as well, like massive roster changes. But it remains a staple part of life in the military for Fairbanks. Adrian Peterson, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's News Source app.